Hello. I got I got three people staring at me right now.
Can you come on more strongly? Can you be more domineering?
Are you trying to
Hello,
tell him to
welcome
be an
back to another
alpha?
Yeah, can
episode of Three Peas in a Pod. Ooh. We
Oh,
actually have
you
four.
never chill.
Yeah, lor.
I'm sorry lah.
Boo. Okay, we
He's
actually have four
so
P's
quiet today.
today. I'm your host Xavier Leong, and with me I have my dear friend Zazri.
Hello.
I have Wu Jiaen, which you might know from another episode,
Hello.
and lastly I have Wong Jianwei, my friend.
Hi.
They are not very close as you can see because
No,
he
we
never
are
said my
super.
dear friend.
No, we are super.
He said my
You can
friend
tell
Jianwei.
you can
No.
tell
My
he-
dear
he's
friend
just honored
Zazri,
to have
my
us
friend
here.
Jianwei.
Oh no!
Well,
Did I do that?
You can tell
Oh
he just
no!
asked me to be here and he's just
No, 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 no,
nervous.
no. Okay, so the reason why I invited them is actually because two of us are from polys. I wonder who. Hi,
I think it's
Jiaen.
Jianwei. I think it's Jianwei.
No, it's not. Okay, so me and Wu Jiaen. Full name, right? Myself. Me and Jiaen are from Temasek Poly.
I'm from SP.
Wow, no. No, no, no. We are both from Temasek
Maybe this is
Poly.
why his report doesn't
And
make enough subscribers.
and my dear friends,
So
Zazari and Jianwei, you are both from.
淡马锡初级学院.
You say that in English, maybe we got
Yeah,
like
why we got
non-Chinese.
international
You
list?
very not
My A levels
inclusive.
just passed.
You're
My
not
bad. I
inclusive.
need to practice, you know.
Okay, we're both from Temasek Junior College.
For college, for nation.
Oh, dear.
Oh, what a great school.
Oh, cut that. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so oh shit, we're all from Temasek. Temasek.
Blazing
Temasek,
Temasek's
sia.
fame.
Oh my god.
Mm.
Okay, so two of us, me and Jiaen, are from Temasek Poly, and two of them, Jianwei and Zazari, a lot of Jias, are from
There's only one
TJC.
Jia. The other one is
Jia.
Jian.
Jia and with Jia with an N.
You're gone,
Just say
bro.
your Chinese cannot make it lah. That's why I was speaking
Boy,
Chinese
my
just now.
Chinese
Ooh.
B3, okay?
B3, but what school you end up in, bro?
Uh,
Please
Oh,
cut
you're
that. Please
looking
cut
down
that.
on Poly.
Please
Looking down
cut
on
that
Poly.
out.
classism.
Please cut that. No, that's called
Anyways,
elitism, buddy.
this is really on theme
Okay, I think
because
I can
we are
start.
talking about Poly
Digital
versus
footprint,
JC, and probably not pitting Polys against JCs, more like just comparing their day-to-day lives of Poly and JC students and seeing which one is just like, nicer.
If JC can be said to even have a life.
Ooh, okay, we'll delve into that. Okay, so how did you come to choose your school? Maybe let's ask that first.
We should ask the JC students first.
Okay.
Zazari, you can go first.
So how did I choose to go to TJ? I think it's mostly like because the cutoff point.
Desiree! But wasn't it kind of like your first choice in the first place?
Yeah, it was. Cause like I didn't want to go to like those very prestigious JCs. Like I didn't want to go to like Raffles and like Hwa Chong all that.
So
'cause,
she
like
can't. So
But
she
you could
can't
go,
sell
you
Hwa
could go
Chong.
RI.
no, but like I didn't want to like.
I was like, what?
Wait, no.
In
You
the
need
sense that like
you need to tell the audience first. What was your
What's
raw
your
score?
cutoff? Yeah, what's
What
your
was your
raw?
raw
If you
score?
don't, if you don't mind.
Don't mind sharing.
I got 10 then -4. So
Oh,
like
that's quite high.
in the
Kerwin
end it's
Diamond.
six.
Because she's just better
What?
like that.
Oh, that's quite high. I
Oh,
remember.
shit, I need to
No, I
please.
remember she
What the
she
hell?
scored quite high, but I knew it wasn't like top 3 high. It was just like super
Really, that
high.
damn good already.
Yeah, but like even like during Sec 4, like I didn't want to overly stress myself to like get into like a super prestigious school. Like I was just like, okay, I think this score is like really realistic to get, and
It's
then
pretty
like
good.
I did get it, and I was like, okay lah, then I'll just go
Shit.
to like a pretty like I would say like DJ's reputation at that point. I was like, oh, this school seems pretty decent, then like I'll just go there lor.
Then why not Diamond? Diamond the cut off around there also. What?
We haven't told her what stream we're in.
Yeah, then like cause I go into the art stream, then like TJ is also like I feel like it's more known for the arts.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
So I was like, okay, I'll just go there then. Jianwei.
I mean, for me, I cannot say the same because my Chinese is not amazing. I'll just put it that way.
Okay.
So I didn't have the count for -2 points. So when I was choosing schools, I'm one of the Eunoia rejects because
Oh,
for some
wow.
reason this year they
Damn.
decided to did both science and arts. So yeah, welcome to
What's
Temasek
your
JC, I
cut off?
guess.
The same
So-
as her?
No, my cutoff was raw 9, but because I don't have Gaohua, my net score is 7.
Yeah.
No, but
So-
that's still damn
She also did really
impressive.
well. Yeah.
I mean, I
Oh
would
my
say I'm
God.
happy with the score, but at that time when I couldn't get to Eunoia, I was like crashing down.
I
But
feel
that was
damn
unexpected,
stupid.
because
mean-
like that you already did according to what the cutoff has been. It's just they were trying to be a team, and then they just lowered it.
Like, but
It's not on you
I
lah.
mean, like, yes, lah, but like at that time, like I didn't have the retrospect, so like at that time I was like, okay, screw this shit.
He was telling everybody he wanted to go EJ.
Yeah, I was just crashing out. But I mean, after that, I realized like TJ was kind of fated now because my cutoff was good enough for TJ, and I've already been to TJ's open house, so I already knew what to expect. Then I also have seniors in TJ that told me that TJ was actually better than Eunoia, especially for the arts because of our humanities program and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I already had my mindset on TJ at some point. So, oh well, here I am.
But I remember you said like you were thinking of going poly also. Was
Ooh.
there another person? Did I
Oh
mix
yeah,
it up?
the question was like why did we choose to go to JC? Is it,
In general, why do you choose to go to your school?
or why did we choose to go to TJ? I mean, if you're talking about the poly and JC consideration, for me, one thing was that I was interested in a particular subject that EJ
Mhm.
also offered, which was why I chose EJ and TJ, which was KI, knowledge and inquiry. So it's basically you can think of it as philosophy and general paper, just a bit higher because it's a subject on crack. But some schools don't offer it, like Dunman or Nanyang actually, which was one of my choices.
Hmm.
And yeah, when I found out that TJ offered it and the KI department was not bad, I was like, okay, sure. It's just meant to be. So yeah, I just decided on JC. As for why I didn't go to poly, I think it's because I'm more suited to be a JC person. For me, poly was an interesting option because I could get experience in projects that would fit what I wanted to do in the future, like marketing or writing. But the thing is, right, I have zero self discipline.
Oh, that's true.
Even though I'm in JC, okay, Jian, okay, I see how it is. But yeah, I don't think I would have fared well in poly, which is why I just inevitably went to JC. And for another, the Asian families have something called 面子, and like
That's true.
as the firstborn son, right, my parents always wanted me to go to JC, be a lawyer, be a doctor, stuff like that. I don't believe any of that crap.
Damn.
So even though I went to JC, I didn't go the the typical go science stream, take PCME, no hit there, no hit there. But yeah, I didn't take that stream. I went to look into JC, saw KI, and I was like, that's interesting, let's go. And yeah, I'm in the art stream now.
Wow. Okay, now moving on to the poly students. Hello.
Hi.
So why do you choose TP?
Because TP, right, the course that I'm in, I wanted to, like, after O levels, then I came across like physiotherapy and speech oral therapy, this type of stuff, right? But I didn't take bio, so if not, right, I would have wanted to go JC also, like,
Hmm.
but I couldn't really go all the good JCs lah, and I could only go for like art stream. So it was kind of like I went to poly for a leeway so that I could go for physiotherapy.
It's okay, you're
Yeah.
not missing much in JC.
By the way, I take gerontology course.
Which the first question you'll get is what the
is
hell
it,
is that?
right? So it's basically I learn about old people and like what they're going through. Like this sem, I'm doing psychology and aging and physio and anatomy. So it technically does have like a link to physio. Then I did I did my research lah. I see if this course can get me into physio or not for uni. That's why lor. Okay, Xavier, your turn.
Oh, I see. Okay,
SP
so
reject.
technically, yeah, I am an SP reject because I had a lot of friends going to SP. So actually, my first choice was SP, and I put TP second choice. But then I got rejected by SP, so I went TP. But then honestly, I feel like it was more like it's like a sign, like a divine intervention. Like TP is honestly quite amazing. I really like it a lot personally, right? And I mean I've not been hearing a lot about SP lah. So
Maybe cause you don't really have much friends from SP anymore. Xavier.
whoa,
Does he have any
Cut,
friends in
cut,
TP
cut.
anyway? Does he have any
whoa,
friends
Cut,
in
cut,
not
TP?
cut, cut,
making the
cut.
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 Okay, but like I'm taking farm science in TP. Yeah. So okay, let's talk about something that was previously kind of touched upon, right? Which is the view of poly and JC in society, right? I think a very common thing is that a lot of people want their kids to go JC because it's like
A
more
prestige.
confirm that you'll get into uni, and it's more like sort of looked down upon to go into poly. Do y'all have anything to share on that?
This is so GP coded.
Okay, so like touching on like why people think that it's easier to go to uni if you go JC rather than poly. I would say this is like honestly still true, even though like I feel like MOE would tell you that nowadays they're trying to make it fairer, right? But it's still very hard for you if you go to poly to get into a local U because of the requirements, from your GPA. And then like for JC, it's like as long as you have this Singapore A level cert, it's honestly quite easy for you to go to a local U or to any other U from here because of how like prestigious the A level cert is lah. So even if your RP isn't like maybe the highest, right? I feel like it's still relatively easier for you to get into a uni maybe. And like coming from somebody whose like sister is like who went to poly and like struggled to get into a uni after graduation, like I do think it is still true that
Was
it's like harder to get into uni law.
if you don't mind me asking, was her GPA like high or good?
No, her GPA is like average, like
Ah.
she's
So like
yeah.
compared to someone with a gone case, gone case.
Repeat the question. Compared.
I was gonna ask like, well, how's her GPA? So like when you compare, right, someone with JC with an average JC score versus someone in poly with an average poly
Yeah.
GPA, like the chances of you getting into uni wouldn't be very high, even though you're also average.
Yeah. And then like in terms of like parents preferring you to go to JC because I don't know, it's more it makes you seem smarter. I would say like I feel like nowadays that's not really a thing. Like maybe for parents and like more like traditional old school people, I guess, then like that might still stay true. But I feel like most people, like people our age at least, or like younger adults, like that view has honestly shifted. So yeah, I don't know.
I think that's an interesting point to think about because if we're talking about the view of society, right, you have to think about the changing like expectations of JC and Poly. Because in the past, right, let's say Gen X and the millennials, the expectation was simple. It was go to JC, get your A level cert, go to university, get a degree, go into an office, and then start working. So that mentality, it might have worked then, but I mean, if we look at today, it's very well not obvious, but it is increasingly common to see unemployment even with a degree. Because if everyone has a degree,
That's
then is the
true.
degree really special anymore? So if you ask me, right, even though yes, I'd say that yeah, it is easier, or at least an average JC A
According to
levels
stats
RP,
also
yeah,
lah.
an average RP in JC would get you into uni, would have a higher chance of getting you into uni. But a average GPA, while it might not get you into uni, right, I don't think that's the main point of going to poly, because like we talked about how there are changing views in society, right? I think that businesses right now, I think you can agree with me on this, right, guys? I think that businesses care
Mm-hmm.
more about what you can bring to the business, what's in it for them.
Mm,
And in JC, all you're really doing is you're just cramming a few more years just to get another numerical score.
Yeah, yeah.
In
yeah.
poly, 3 years, you're gonna get business sense, you're gonna get
Yeah.
you're gonna get insider experience, you're gonna get actual hard skills that you're gonna be using in the industry. And I think stuff like media, all these media, uh maybe entertainment or even finance. All these, while JC does help get you to uni to get you into a course, specialization like these more catered towards in poly. So I think that if you went to poly or if you have graduated from poly and you have these experiences, the businesses will definitely be more interested in hiring you because you can immediately benefit them. Whereas if you are from JC and you go to uni, you'd only have about 4 years of experience.
Yeah.
So I think that if you talk about JC versus poly now, right, the experience is more important for one. And number two, I don't think that the consideration of uni is big enough because another point I want to raise is that perhaps uni is not a guarantee because the question assumes that uni is a uni is a must, right? We assume that you must go to uni to be employed, but evidently that's not true. I have a lot of friends whose parents let's not even go to JC and poly. Some of them went to ITE. They
Yeah,
didn't.
but you need to take into consideration that our generation is also different.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, we have to
The
consider.
times have changed also lah.
I mean, yes, sure, but I mean, I'm seeing a lot of people from poly who don't necessarily want to go to uni. They hold the option of going to uni, sure, but I think that's more of them wanting to do well in poly regardless, so that they can have the option to go to uni. But I don't think that going to uni is a must for them because some of these people they already know what they want to do. Let's say, media. If you want to do media, if you want to go into a business and you want to do, let's say, marketing, uni may be important for the skills and the degree, yes. But if you have a portfolio that you've built up around social media or influencing, then I don't think a uni degree will do much for you unless you wanted to further your skills and networking. But other than that, if you were to go to a company, you start in and you started interning for them, I think that'd be more valuable to the company because you're already generating results while working for them. And in the future, with more experience, you'll be more accustomed to how the company functions. And I think they see that as more valuable than a novice without experience and just a degree.
Yeah, like you can get like a job with a diploma nowadays, but you honestly can't really get a job with just an A-level cert, you know?
I
Yeah,
think that's
but
more important
then
also.
but the problem is some people complain lor, poly cert, right? Your starting pay will be very low.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of them also want to go uni.
No, but I think that that's very materialistic also because we're assuming that to earn you just need a good job, you just need a good pay. But I think that's very one dimensional. If you talk about getting a good pay, right? I mean in my personal belief, I think that if you generate value, you're definitely going to earn. And to generate value, you can't be forcing yourself to just do something you don't like. Like what I said about going to JC and poly in my consideration, I didn't want to be a doctor and lawyer, even though that's going to be a high paying job. I wanted to do something meaningful, something I actually felt like waking up every day doing it. I could lose sleep over it, and I will still do it. And I think that that mentality, while I'm still figuring out, that mentality is important because if you look if you look forward to doing what you love every day, right? You're definitely going to do it well. If you do it well, you're going to be generating value some way somehow through research, of course. And yeah, that's going to earn you money somehow. So if you're going to uni just to earn more money, I don't think that's the right way to go, in my opinion.
Mm. Then Jiang, do you have anything to say? Or?
I mean, I agree mostly, but um, yeah lah. I feel that people going poly shouldn't be looked down on also.
Yeah, it's definitely like no matter what you choose, ITE, poly, or JC, right? It's definitely not the end. Like this is not the final chapter of your story, right? There's so much more to branch out from there. And also, right, like if I'm adding my 2 cents, I considered JC not because I thought poly was bad. It was because like generally everyone kind of views JC as like the better path. So I started researching JCs first, even despite not knowing anything about JCs or polys. So I went to look into JCs, right? And like a comment that my grandma told me that my uncle said was he asked um why I went into poly despite having grades that could get into a JC. And I was like, oh, okay. Because it definitely stems from like a point of like, oh, poly is a bit worse than JC. You know, it definitely comes from that
I
point.
mean,
And
yeah,
I
like, the
was
stigma
like,
still exists.
yeah, I was a bit down, like disheartened to hear that. Definitely. But I feel like poly, poly, poly environment has been amazing. Diving into which, let's talk about environment. So, would the JC people like to share about your environment in JC?
This entire podcast sounds like a project work presentation, man. I don't know why you're being
It's a
so formal.
passion project. So
I don't know why you're being so formal. You can be more relaxed, man.
okay, I'll be more relaxed. So what is JC environment like? Yeah.
Um, Okay, I would say it's very structured. Like when people say that um it's basically just upper sec, like repeat. I would say that's true, but it's sec three, sec four, but just so much more rigorous in terms of like the curriculum and in terms of like your syllabus. So you still have like morning assemblies and you still have like PE, you still
You
have
still have a uniform to wear, unfortunately.
yeah, and like you'll be marked late and all of that thing. So it's very structured and like if you need that structure, then I think JC is for you, I would say.
Yeah, I think I need that structure, man. I still have 5 late comings on my list.
Yes, and then it's very it's very tailored. Like you can like meet with your tutors and like
Mm.
have consults
Honestly, I
and
miss that.
yeah, like you
Yeah.
can when you go for tutorials, like you're gonna be asked questions and like you go for lectures and you learn. I think it's preparing you for uni almost. Um yeah, it's a
Yeah, I
way.
think it's a very different experience, honestly, because I'm going to assume that most of us here in secondary school, we didn't have lectures, right? We just followed the usual O level, N level system, right? We just go to classes every day. But I think going to JC is also very different in a sense that we sort of experience what you would call high school in the West and what the IPs experience. Because in JC, you have lectures and tutorials, and you don't usually have that in schools unless, of course, your school is special, then good for you. But for us, we only experience lectures in JC, right? And I think that's something really unique. You don't get to experience that in secondary school. I say yeah, you can experience it in poly, but in JC, it's a different experience, I'd say, because in JC the teacher who lectures you, I think so lah, because the teacher who lectures you most of the time they also take you for tutorial, and the lecture feels
True.
yeah it feels less like a lecture actually. It just feels like an extended classroom. Whereas in poly, is it am I right to say that in poly it's just a lecture you don't know? Is it correct?
Mm. I think it's. I think for now, I think for now the teachers are like, if you get this one teacher for class, then you just keep getting it.
Right. But the lecturers
Yeah.
change, right? The lecturers, you don't know the lecturers, they don't teach you, right?
Uh, no, for now it's still more like class based, but like it really feels so informal. Like I truly do not know any of my teachers because most of them literally come in, teach, and just leave.
Yeah.
We don't do like good morning, blah blah blah. We stand up and what bow whatever. We don't do that. Like I truly don't know like most of my lectures names.
Yeah, but like going back to the lecture system in JC, right? I think what's different is that because you know the teacher and there's already a relationship being
Yeah.
like established there. The teacher in lecture and tutorial already knows your weaknesses as a class, and they can cater to it better because our lectures aren't, oh, I have to finish this by today, I have to finish this by this week. There are goals, but the teacher can also cater those goals to the class. Like
Yeah.
especially in literature, like, I would say my prime example being literature, because our class has like certain weaknesses that our teacher has spotted over the year, right? And our teacher has emphasized a lot on these
Yeah.
like blind spots. So I feel like in JC it's more catered. I think compared to secondary school and poly, these lectures are much more catered.
Yeah, there's like I feel like there's a greater system of support.
Yeah.
Which like I feel like for people who are already like very independent learners, then maybe you might not need this. But like for people who are maybe like struggling a bit and then like especially because the JC curriculum is like huge and then like you feel like you're falling behind, then having such a strong support system behind you can actually be really helpful, I feel.
Yeah, I think it's a good breath of fresh air lah, if you compare to poly, because poly is so different from secondary school, right? But I
True.
think that JC compared to poly, it's more of a transition. You have lectures, you have tutorials, but you also have
Oh.
teachers who
Mm.
still cater to
Yeah.
what
Mm,
you need and your weaknesses. So I
yeah.
think that if you need this transition and you don't want such a radical change in how you learn and your schooling life, then I think JC is a considerable option.
No, cause honestly, right, like I feel that poly really made me find out
Yeah.
like wow, I was so spoiled in
Eh,
secondary
yeah,
school.
true.
Everything, not everything was being like spoon fed
Yeah.
and shit, but it's still like, how do I say? Um, if you have questions or anything, or if you have homework or like projects, right? The the teacher will be there to help you. They will let you know, let's say in a week advance. that, oh, you have this to do, you need to do this. But poly is really, they just give you the handbook on what to do. You have to go and read it yourself. And
Yeah.
at most, right, they'll just send you a reminder one time, and then
Mm, mm,
you're just there. That's it.
yeah.
And I really don't like some poly lecturers, right? It's like they very uh they wow,
They
the
don't
answer
care.
they give me, yeah, they really don't care one.
他们不管，真的不管。
And the answer they give me, right, I might as well don't ask them. Like sometimes I get that I'm not supposed to get the answer immediately, and you want to help me guide me to that answer. But like sometimes, right, when they tell me, I ask them a question, they ask me back, I'll get even more confused.
I guess that's a
It's
personal attack. I guess that's a
Yeah.
personal
it's
attack.
not
Wow, what went
helpful.
wrong in Temasek
It's
Polytechnic?
not helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So poly really felt different from secondary school. I definitely had like a weight lash by
Espa.
I almost say by as much. I by like how relaxed it is. Like definitely the environment change was crazy. So poly is more like you log in onto this website, then you watch the lectures beforehand, then you download the worksheet, then you do, and then when the class comes up on your schedule, you just enter the class. Then the teacher like does a brief run through of the lecture slides, and then goes through the notes, and then basically the class is over, you can leave already. It really feels you can truly feel how self-directed it is. Like you have to be disciplined, definitely. And this is why I feel like I struggle in poly because I'm definitely not disciplined. I am procrastinating.
But okay
I
lah, your GPA was okay, right?
I
Actually,
guess
what are your
so.
GPAs?
Ooh.
What are your GPAs?
Ooh.
What's your
Jia's
GPA? What's
very
your
excited to share
GPA?
hers
No
cause
lah, no lah.
What's your
I
GPA?
don't really like strangers
4.0,
knowing.
4.0.
I'll
uh
just sign it to y'all, okay? Because I don't really like strangers knowing. If there's
Okay.
even a stranger watching your podcast,
probably
I got.
maybe not.
Oh,
Okay,
I see,
okay.
I see.
Okay, so
Okay,
that's what
it was a good score. It was a good score.
So lah. I was expecting a bit higher, but okay lah. I'll take it. Yeah.
personally okay, wait, I got 3.54. Right.
Oh,
I don't think it's really a good score.
it's
I think
Is
it's
it
it's
still
okay?
okay
it's
lah.
not bad. It's like okay, cause that means it's actually not bad, but like you're in the middle to
Yeah.
top tier ish.
I think
Yeah.
you can give some context on what you would consider a good GPA.
Mm,
You know, like it's out of 4, right?
maybe
What,
like
Yeah,
what would you
yeah.
I would
consider a
say
good GPA?
3.7
Same.
You say
would be
3.7 a good
really
GPA.
good. Yeah.
That's the A tier.
Is it possible for you to get 4 then? It's not
Yes.
possible.
It's
then.
definitely
I know
possible to
someone who
get
got
4.
3.99, bro.
No, but is it possible like from now on all the way into year 3?
If
Ooh.
you're a god.
Okay,
But
there's this thing
probably
about
not.
GPA, right?
Probably not.
It's better to maintain than to pull up
Yeah.
your GPA.
Really?
Yeah, it's very hard to pull
Pull up.
from the depths
No.
to from the depths of hell back
So
up.
as in you're saying it's
Like
how
no
to
no
say
lah. As
diminishing
in you can pull
returns.
up, but it's just more difficult. Let's
Diminishing
say
returns, so you have to
you
spend a lot of
are
effort.
yeah. Let's say you are a 3.0 GPA student, right? It will be very difficult for you to pull yourself back up to 4. Cause 4 is like you need to
4 is crazy.
A
That's full
everything.
marks, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a good point to compare to JC also
Yeah.
because if you compare to how JC and secondary school works, even if you flunk your WAs all the way until end of year, if you somehow make an academic comeback, you can get the full marks. You can get raw 6, you can get 70 RP. So I think that if you talk about self-discipline, I mean JC we talk about how you definitely need to be self-directed, right? But I think that it's still I think something we don't consider is that your long-term how to say your final result is not determined by your initial standings. So if your WAs were, horrible in JC, you can still make a comeback. You still have a chance to get that 70
Yeah.
RP. In poly, it's possible, but it's highly unlikely if you don't put a tremendous amount of effort. I think it's not as worth it.
Yeah. Okay, I would say the reason why I got 3.5, right, is because I I had an A, then I had a B plus, and then I had a B, so then it all averaged out to a B plus entirely, and a B plus is 3.5. So it just completely averaged flat out 3.5. And the reason why I got B, which is what I'm gonna get into, is the B was from a mostly group work module. This I'm gonna say the main reason why you probably are not gonna get a 4 GPA is your group work. It's
Yeah.
it's all the group work. It's
Actually,
always the group work.
I agree. That's something we don't
Bro,
talk about
I'm
enough.
telling
The
you,
group
Group work
work.
if
in
poly was all individual projects and individual quizzes and everything individual,
I can
no
hear the
ego
I can hear the I
speaking,
can hear the
but
ego coming.
I could have a 3.8
Okay,
this
Jia.
sem.
Okay,
It's
Jia.
really the group works.
I was really gonna crash out last sem. Oh my
I think why
god.
group works are much harder is because there isn't like okay, so like quiz is more like if you get it right, you get it right, you get the points. But then group work feels so like fluid. Like they don't strictly tell you what's the correct thing. Like you don't know what's the correct thing. You have to try and get it, and there's so many like versatile areas that you have to hit on to try and score those points. It's really hard. I tell you, this semester, this is currently week 3. This is I'm filming this on a Monday, so it's the first day of week 3. From on week 1 and 2, when I just got back to school, every module I stepped into gave me a group work. I have 5 group projects to do right now. 5. I have 5 group projects immediately off the bat. I have 5 group projects I need to start doing already. So it's just really annoying.
Yeah, I actually think that that's something we also don't talk about. Like, you know, a lot of JC students I've talked to consider poly easier, but really once you actually think
It's
about it and
it's
once you
really
talk
not.
to people, right, it's
Yeah.
actually not. I actually consider JC to be the easier option. Like, sure, we have much more difficult curriculums at times. I mean, you just look at math maybe for some. But if you look at poly, right, even if you're in something like, I don't know, triple E and you're crazy good at math, you're gonna have common mods like communication. You might not be the best at those and this kind of stuff. If you mess up even once, your GPA is going down. Like you just can't help it. I mean, even if you're an all rounder, right? It's difficult to excel in everything for
Yeah.
the layman.
But
So I think that's something we don't consider enough when you talk about JC and poly.
and the biggest thing is like as you said just now, right? Like even if you mess up your WAs, your RP will not take a hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, it's still your
That's why
A
they always
level.
say like let's say for promos, right, they pass will do and all that, because it's not like it will affect their A level. And in the end, like a lot of people will always say in JC, right, oh, it's not A level, it's not A level, so you don't need to worry, you just need to back up, you need to back up
Yeah.
before A levels. But poly, you fall, is
Wow.
like I said, it's
Wow.
very difficult to climb back up.
Yeah.
I mean, in another sense, there's also not everything is just black and white, right? I think that there's also another weakness of JC. Like we said, a lot of people just want to pass promos, right? I don't think JCs like to retain people anyways, unless
Yeah.
they really see the need for you to retain. But if you do barely pass, even if you're not doing extremely well, you only have a year or even less than that before your prelims and then your A levels. So if you don't do well in your year 1 and you go on to year 2 and you have so much to catch up on, even with new topics and subjects, then I think it's maybe just as difficult, if not even more difficult than
That's also
poly.
true.
Yeah, because if you're trying to cram year 1 and year 2 into just like half a year, then that's a whole different audio already for you. Yeah.
That's
But
true.
some people can do it,
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
some people can do it,
those
lah, but if
people,
you're gonna
those gifted people, bro. Oh my god.
yeah, but if you compare, you know,
For
like
Yeah
like
lah,
the
average
consistent-
average person, both.
yeah,
I feel like
Yeah.
both JC and poly is difficult lah.
yeah, lah, if you
It
compare
has their own
consistent work,
difficulties, lor. Yeah.
I think the important thing is just stay consistent, man. Just don't
Yeah.
slack.
That's what you say in the
Yeah.
first
Hey, hey,
episode.
hey, wait. I'm promoting, you know. My RP's not that bad. My RP's not that bad.
Hey, what's your RPs, guys?
I mean,
No,
so
we don't. Do you calculate?
yeah, I did calculate.
Scissor
Yeah, I can help you calculate. Come, I help you calculate.
Okay, but I don't know. I never calculate my overall though.
Oh, I'm not calculating on overall. I'm calculating by promos.
No, then that's really bad.
Yeah, but okay lah. But I mean,
It's
I
okay
mean,
lah.
I'm going
Then
to
say when you tell us your RP,
I'm going to assume that she did basically the same or better than me because my
No.
RP isn't that good as well.
you tell us your RP and your AB those,
So for the-
and then Zazuri, you tell us your AB.
Yeah, so
Cs.
for JC we have 4 main subjects and then we have GP. Those are really only the subjects that count. So for the 4 main subjects, I took 4 H2. So I got if I recall correctly, 2 Cs and 1 B for literature. And unfortunately, like I said, I don't know what happened to my math, but I surpassed. I only got an S this time math. Yeah.
Oh,
And
no SU.
yeah, my GP was a C. So in total I got 55 RP.
Oh,
out of
that's not
70.
bad. That's not bad.
I mean we say it's not bad, but if you're working towards a 70 RP goal, then 55 isn't where you want to be at the end of J1. Especially for my math. Because if my math doesn't buck up, then I'm gonna have an ugly S for my report card next year as well.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm.
I would say like if you look at the timeline, like for JC, as we said, it's incredibly short. Like you go in, it's your first year, and then everything is like, okay, we're prepping you for promos, and then immediately after that, you're kind of expected to do PW. But then during your December holidays, you're kind of expected to revise for J2 and prepare and consolidate all of your content for J1. Then in J2, it's just A level prep all the way. And so it's incredibly tight. It's incredibly tight timeline. But then if you look at poly, right, it's like yes, it's 3 years, and like yes, if you think about it, like you guys do have like more breaks, but it will all still like add up to roughly about the same time that you spend schooling, right? Um, but even though y'all have um like 3 years, like every test that y'all take matters. You know,
Every
so it's
project
not
also,
it's not
yeah.
like only your last year of poly is like
Yeah.
the big year, the big race. Like no, it's like a marathon for y'all. But then for
Very long distance
yeah, a
one.
very long, long one.
And this is why I thank God I didn't go to
Yeah.
poly. It was the right decision to go to JC for us. Your RP, do you want to announce it?
Wait, that's pretty bad.
I see.
No lah, it's not bad. Like you passed,
I see.
you passed. Yeah, it's on my phone.
There is RP. Dun dun dun.
It's okay, you can
Mine
just
is
show
like
us
overall
also.
better.
It's not that bad.
You sure?
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's out of 70.
I know.
We
Right.
both didn't do well. We both didn't do well.
Right.
Okay, but it's not that bad though, because I know people who have been getting 20 and 30.
No, but if you want look, okay, look, that's okay, look, that's another thing, right? In JC, right, you're gonna have people who think that, like I said just now, you're gonna have people who think that the first year isn't really important. Then second year, oh, I'm just gonna cram, I'm gonna make an
I would say
academic
it's a wake
comeback.
up call.
Yeah, but to
Some
me,
people don't get that wake up call.
to me, even if you get a wake
My
up call, I
cousin.
feel like it's still important for J1. Like same thing, same like I said, consistency matters. If
Mhm.
you slack off in J1, you're gonna have a hell of a time in J2. I don't think that's gonna be what you wanna do. Right? If you're getting if you know, like if you're gonna be failing J1 and you barely pass promos, I don't think that's very what? I don't think that's really productive for your J2.
Wait, I feel like even though you have like people who are like a bit more slacker, right? I feel like because we all came from like the same secondary school, and it's like neighborhood school, and so I felt like I could very much be like big fish small pond there. And so like in secondary school, I feel like I had a lot of confidence in myself, in my like I knew what my strengths and my weaknesses were. And then I came to JC, and it was like
A rude wake up
genuinely,
call.
yeah, a genuine such a humbling
Yeah,
experience
yeah.
in
It's,
that
it's the same for all of us, I
yeah,
feel.
in that you'll meet people who are like at the top of their game.
Yeah, like there's this girl in our cohort, I'm not gonna name names, but full marks math, full marks chem,
Wow.
full marks econs,
No
top of
way.
cohort for physics,
No
top of cohort
way.
top of cohort for GP, top of cohort for her chemist, for her
Oh my god.
what's it called?
Einstein's, yeah.
Math as well, yeah. So
Damn.
basically A 70 RP first year.
Whoa.
Yeah, like you genuinely meet people who are doing like the most ever,
Yeah.
and you'll constantly feel this pressure to like keep up with them.
And
like
even if it's not like forced on you, right? It's just your own environment. Everybody's like that.
Internally you're gonna realize that these are the people you're competing with, and we're not even in a top JC, like we're only in Temasek.
Right.
And if you compare to, people in RI, you compare to people in Hwa Chong, like objectively speaking, if this is the standard around us, then the bar has got to be way higher elsewhere.
Yeah.
like obviously like you don't have to do as much as these people, but you do still inevitably feel this sort of pressure to do more all of the time. And like if you're easily affected by these kind of things, then like it's gonna be very tough on you, because you're gonna feel very very stressed, and like your studies are already like taking a toll on you, and then you have CCA and extracurriculars.
I
Yeah.
mean, I agree that the stress is a problem, but to me, that's another reason why I went to JC. Because like I said, self-discipline is very difficult for me. Because let's not go there. But I think that the whole point of JC for me was to also, train myself to be more driven as a person to learn. And I think that the pressure of people around me, especially in, Temasek, because I consider Temasek to be, maybe above average as a school. And I think that the pressure here, especially from the people I've met, the people, the brilliance that like surrounds me every day, right? It really pushes you to just go further, right? When you're comparing yourself to people who, oh, I'm second in the International Economics Olympiad, or I'm 70 RP in this year, I'm the president of this, or I'm the president of, you know, uh, this club, and I'm also running this event, and so and so. Then you really feel the pressure to just step it up. You can't just lose. How to say? You can't just fall behind, and just do nothing while these people just go on and win, right? You got to do more than that. So I think that for me, JC was a good experience.
Mm. What do you think are some important things to think about when trying to choose a school?
Number one, location.
Oh,
Yeah,
Tampines,
oh my god.
You're
Tampines.
gonna be spending so much time every day in school. Don't make it harder on yourself to get there.
Guys, if
Yes.
any of y'all are sec 4, right? Oh my god. Location really, really, really,
It
really,
really
really,
matters.
really,
It
really
really
Like
matters,
just
matters.
bro.
saying, right, for all of us, right, especially for me and Cesri, if we chose to go to, ASR or TMGC, right, that's 20 minutes or 10 minutes of travel. That extra 30 minutes of sleep in the morning really matters,
It
man.
really
Oh
does.
my
It really
god.
does. It really does.
I
And
either
It
you
just
wake up.
compounds.
and please, right, just because Google says that, oh, it's gonna take 45 minutes to
No,
travel, and
no.
you think, it's not that bad. It is that
If you
bad.
live in the north,
Bro.
you know the pain of the TP.
And
If you live in the north.
and if you plan to go to TP, just know the
On 1A.
118 bus is you'll never make it on the first one.
No, unless you're Savior, lah. I always make it on
Huh?
the first one. I'm just
Oh,
saying.
what the heck?
And
Mm,
especially, I think location, right? If we want to, like, a second point I'll bring up, right? Something that is not talked about a lot is the problem of reflexivity and herd mentality. When we think about, like similar to the stereotypes of poly and JC, right? When you think about what schools I want to go to, immediately you think of, oh, what schools are good, right? Then you think of, oh, if for JC you think of Raffles, you think of Hwa Chong, you think of Victoria, maybe for the science kids. But then you realize that, if you live in the north like us, then Victoria is all the way at Marine Parade, and there's yeah,
everywhere
I'm not
is
I'm not taking I
far.
am not taking a 1.5 hour there. That's just too far. So I feel like if you want to consider schools, right, distance is one thing, but the over how to say the umbrella term for it, and I say the overall condition would be, why do I want to go to this school? Is it really just because it's a good school? Can I get the same experience elsewhere? Like,
And please think about it. Like, if you're just okay with this school, and let's say the traveling time is like
My
15
God,
minutes. Oh my god.
please
Please,
consider, bro.
please
yeah,
reconsider.
so like don't like what we're trying to say is just basically don't let the herd mentality cloud your judgment. If the school has nothing extremely appealing to you, if the school doesn't give you anything substantial or something you couldn't get from other schools, then consider location, time spent traveling, all these kind of stuff that's actually going to make an impact on your lives rather than some superficial quality that doesn't really matter.
Yeah, and let's say even if that place is so called close, right? Especially when you take bus early in the morning, please know that there'll always be a
A
traffic
crowd.
jam.
Oh
Oh
my
my
God.
days.
Yes.
Oh my days. It's just, especially when you take bus, right? This type of things is very, you cannot tell one.
Mm.
And sometimes there was once, right? There was an accident in TPE, I think. Oh my god, we were all stuck on the
Wait,
road
just to
Oh my
say,
in
wait,
God.
different buses. We were all just stuck. Me and Siri were stuck in the same bus. Zaziri was on the bus next to us. We were all just stuck. Oh my god.
I mean, I wasn't there, but like to illustrate another point about that, right? There was a time when I was going home from TJ at like 8 o'clock. Then there was an accident as well on the TPE. I was stuck in Tampines for 50 minutes just to get
Damn.
out,
That's
just to
crazy.
get out of the
That's
TPE.
Real
crazy.
That's
shit,
that's how
bro. Real
bad the
That's
shit.
jam
crazy.
Yeah,
there is.
yeah.
So in the morning, if this happens in the morning and it has happened, then just good luck. You're
I
gonna be
think it's because we're all with like all of us, right? Our whole lives we've been in a neighborhood school.
I think
Everything is less than 30 minutes away.
Mm.
distance was a really big factor, lah.
I
Like
Yeah.
know, yeah, it's
it's 10
something
minutes to
like
school for all of us.
you don't feel it unless you experience it, you know? It's something you really have to be humbled by, in my opinion.
Can I like sidetrack a bit? Like,
Sidetrack, please.
cause like, okay, when we say like good JCs, like, okay, we all know there's like the prestigious JCs, and then
The top three lah, the big
yeah,
three.
the big three, and then there's like average JCs, and then like in Punggol there's like in our area there's like TM and ASR,
ASR.
and like I would say that like even though people would say that like these are like Mid-tier, yeah.
JCs. I'll say ASR is maybe better as well.
Like there's nothing wrong with like going to these JCs as well.
Like I said,
Yeah.
reflexivity, right? If you are going to a school just because it's a good school, then if you go there and you don't actually get anything from it, even if it's a good school, like I say, yeah, it does matter, but you end up, let's say you end up in RI and you don't do anything about it, you don't gain anything about it, you just take, your usual PCME,
Yeah.
then could you have gotten the same in other schools? Personally, like when I compare RI, okay, let's not talk about RI, let's just talk about, something like VJ or Dunman, which is quite far for us compared to, like ASR or TJ. For us, right, if I was to consider taking science stream in JC, and the top school for that maybe would be VJ and DH in our range, then I would consider, is there really anything more substantial for me? Is there something that is actually objectively better for me? Like, yes, the
Yeah.
school is better, but
Okay, but right, there's also this thing you consider is like the materials that the school give you, lor.
no, but the thing is,
Like,
right, top schools doesn't mean materials are better. Like,
yeah, that's what I think also. So I don't really understand why people
I do
like
think
maybe
that like more like the big three, like they definitely have like wealth and like resources
they have
and like
budget,
that
bro.
history. And like maybe like newer schools don't have that, you know? So like that is something you also want to consider. Like even though like maybe Eunoia, for example, like even though they have this new campus, right? But the school itself is actually
there's
very
really
new as
nothing.
well.
Like, especially for our cohort and the cohort after and before us. Yeah, is something of a hype. It's something of a recent trend, right? And everyone just wants to go there. But when you think about it, really, what's so special about Eunoia?
Then
Not
we
not to
jumped on
say
the hype train, by
not
the
not
way,
to say
guys.
not to say it's a
Then we
bad
jumped on
school.
the hype
I
train.
was also at a point in time
Oh.
infatuated with Eunoia to the
Oh
to the
my god,
point
yeah.
to
You know
the
he bought
point
a
where
you
I know the
guys, do
school
you know
song.
he bought a Eunoia t-shirt even before he
Yeah,
got into
I
New
was on the
York?
hype train. That's
Eunoia.
why. That's why I know. Really,
Oh
when you
my
think
god.
about it, right? I'm not saying Eunoia is a bad school. It is a good school, especially for the humanities. But when I look back on it, and when I compare it to TJ, where I currently am, I'm in the humanities program for my school, and both me and Zesri are humanities scholars. So would we have
Oh.
ended up any different in Eunoia? Probably not. And when you think about like what's objectively different, I don't think there's any difference except for the travel time, when you
Yes.
compare Temasek to EJ.
Yeah, so it's I feel like no matter where you go, like JC or poly, like however well known it is, it really just depends on like what you take out from it and like how much you're willing to like put in the time and effort to use the resources available to you, you know.
And it's not to say that you're limited by the school's resources, because I know friends who, well, they don't think that DJ's resources are catered to them, so they just straight up go to websites like Holy Grail, or they just ask their friends to send them notes from YI, ASR, RI. There's so many notes and worksheets circulated online. I don't think that you only need to be limited by the school's resources provided. Are you pausing this?
No, I'm not pausing this. Why? What's going on?
You're like silent treatment.
No, I actually hit my nose on my knee damn hard. Then I felt something shift in my
Horrible.
nose.
Brother.
Okay.
At TLDR, he wasn't paying attention.
No, I was paying so much attention. Thank you so much for sharing, speaker Jianwei. Okay, what do you think is something you okay, other than location, is there anything else you would value?
Environment.
Environment.
Environment. Environment.
Yeah, environment is definitely number one.
Like physical or like what?
No,
The
school
social
environment.
environment and the school environment.
Like honestly, right, when I went to NP's open house, right?
Yes.
Oh my god. Xavier, last morning, bro.
What? Get on with it, please.
Like NP's environment was genuinely so fun and so hype. And they were all really nice. I mean, it's just an open house lah, but like it did kind of make me wonder, oh shit, kind of want to join this school. But obviously I didn't lah, because they didn't have any courses I wanted. But environment to me was pretty important. I'm not sure about other people though.
Same. I think before you make any decisions, go to an open house.
Oh my
Like
god,
that's like the
yes.
easiest way
Definitely,
to
Yes.
scope.
please
Yeah,
don't
and you
Yeah.
don't have to
choose
go with your
blindly.
parents, guys. You can go with your friends. It's
Go
actually
your
quite fun.
go to the
But
open
it
This
cannot
house.
be.
girl, this girl
Yeah.
dragged me to NP because she wanted to go. I mean, I also wanted to go, but
She wanted to go also,
yeah,
okay.
but
He
like
went with
like I
his,
said, please don't choose blindly.
he went 2 days, by the way. One with me and one with
Anyway,
Let's not talk about it.
Anyways, even when you go, but then the another thing is if you go with your
I don't think
friends,
she's
right?
gonna watch this.
Please don't be affected by your friends' choices.
Oh,
Don't be a savior, guys.
I was
Like
really
I said,
what?
herd mentality. Herd
I was
mentality.
really about to segue to this. Like this, actually, the next point I was about to bring up people who want to go to schools just because of your friend. Wow, please don't laugh.
Yeah,
Please
don't be
don't.
savior,
I
bro.
have a
Please don't.
junior. I have a junior. I don't know how true this is.
I already start noticing some of my friends start drifting off already. It's really like
Are you sure
people
you can say this?
people are gonna be finding their own individual like lifestyles. They are gonna be spending their lives. They are not gonna revolve it back all around you again. It's really like you need to find a
Okay, but
you cannot
this
just
is where
stick
you
with them.
find your real friends, or like even if Cesare go TJC, right? She never ghosts me or
Yeah,
anything, you
I'm
know?
so
She
awesome.
just texts
Ew.
me very formally.
They are touching each other
According
right
to
now.
Jian Wei looked at our chat and then he was like, why is Cesare text so formally? I was like, this is how Cesare text. You know, she bruh, then she comma me. She's like, bruh, comma, what are you doing?
Oh my god, so formal, Cesare.
And then during my lip paper, right, my teacher comment on my punctuation and grammar. So,
Oh, that's really
Oh,
sad.
yeah,
Are
You
we
becoming Shakespeare.
she
Shit.
got called out in front of the entire Audi. Our teacher just called
Not
our entire cohort
me.
to.
Really?
I would like to
Why?
think that at least 50% of that was you.
Excuse me,
She
no.
called our typing. Our cohort is the first cohort to type out our lit exam. So our teacher just called our entire cohort out, saying that our grammar and typing skills are probably the worst she has ever seen in her
Excuse
entire
me.
career.
That was not my fault.
You know
Not my fault.
permutations and combinations, right? What's the chance that you might have contributed to that?
Okay, but in all seriousness, I think another thing is like your learning style. And I think that's like obviously the number one thing that people talk about. Um I think I'm I don't know. I think I'm just suited for the GC life. Not gonna lie. Like I like to learn and I like having a syllabus and like I do really like the subjects that I'm taking, you know.
Oh, dang. That's
Like
good.
like I'm
Helm
super
student.
glad as like an art student, I'm super glad that I'm not taking science. You know, which is like the big difference from secondary school is that you can choose the subjects that you want to study and if you're actually passionate in these subjects, right, then spending like hours, you know, during your tutorials on like revising for your exams is way more enjoyable now than it was in secondary school. You get it?
Yeah, I think that's something also that's different from poly. You know, we talked about how poly has common mods, right? Common modules. But in JC, your stream is basically going to be exactly how you chose it to be. So for me and Zazri, we're in the art stream, and basically everything we do, it's gonna be arts. But except for the contrasting subject, math. But everything else, it's gonna be exactly as we chose. So she took history. She's gonna and most of her time is spent studying history, lit, and econs. For me, I took KI, and most of my time is spent studying KI and GP. So it aligns very well with what we chose originally. And I don't think the same can be said for poly with common modules, because you're gonna inevitably face stuff that is new and novel to you, right?
It's so common that the whole like every diploma in my school, which is like applied science school, right? Every diploma is taking the same first year subjects. It's I yeah.
So do you enjoy it or no?
No.
No. No.
Why?
No, get me out.
Why is it because you feel that like it's not what you want to be learning?
Not even that. I just feel like it's a waste of my time.
I chose farm science for a reason. Tell me about farm science. I don't want to know
Effective communication.
effective communication. I don't want to know statistics. I don't want to know about food nutrition.
It's not that it's not useful. Like, of course, these skills
Yeah,
are
it's
gonna be
definitely
useful. But when you
useful.
think about, when you consider what you want to learn and how much of your time is going to be invested into studying certain subjects, then JC is much more streamlined. If you're gonna take
Yeah.
the science stream, you're gonna be definitely only be studying science.
And it pisses
bypassing
me
GP.
off. Like past year subjects, right? A lot of teachers they take it very, very seriously. And like it's like pass fail, right? Yeah, I get we should still put in a little bit of effort. But why are you
Mm-mm.
doing all that? Like why do I have to do a whole group project and all that on it's just
Effectively communicating.
yeah, exactly. I have to give a presentation and treat it like a seminar.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because it's a TP fundamental subject
Yeah,
which everyone has to take.
and it's really bad that if you fail this TP fundamental thingy, right, you have to retake it, and apparently it will go on
Yeah.
your cert or something like that.
It just goes to
So-
show that poly is definitely not easier than JC.
It's
In no way at
definitely
all.
not
Yeah.
easier. Despite whoever, whatever says, it's not easier. They are basically around the same difficulty.
They're just spewing stuff that they
They're
heard
around the
before.
same difficulty
The
and they are
only good
difficult.
thing I would say is the nothing.
No, like it's difficult. They're both equally difficult, but difficult in different ways.
Very
Different
different.
ways.
Wait, I think at
Yeah.
this point the poly students are defending JC and the JC students are just
Defending.
thinking, we're just
No,
taking
okay,
it. No one's
honestly,
defending
right,
poly.
because we will never know each other's point of view unless we step
Definitely,
in there.
that's true.
But to me, right, I feel like the difference in JC and poly, right, JC is like you have to study really hard, and the contents and everything is like up a whole new level compared to secondary school. So that's the study section. But poly, right, yeah, the studies may be hard, right, but as long as you got study, you should be fine. It's the people, bro. Oh my god.
Oh my
It's the
god, get me
people. Oh my
out.
god.
Oh,
Yeah, so
I mean, I love my friends in poly.
I don't have.
Why does this sound so forced?
No, no, no.
Excuse me, why does this sound
No,
so
wait, that
forced?
sounds so genuine. Wait,
Huh?
wait,
Huh?
you're
Huh?
so
Are we hearing the same? Are we in the
Roll it
same
back.
conversation?
Zazari, say real. Do you love us more or do you love your JC friends more?
excuse me.
Zazari.
Okay,
Yeah,
wait,
this-
I'm counted in
this-
both left,
That's
so whatever
like
she
for the
chooses.
paid segment of this podcast. Just subscribe to the Patreon.
Zazari.
Members only
Tell
answer.
us. Tell
Oh.
us. 2 years or 5 years.
But okay, to be honest, right, I think the people you meet, okay, personally, I speak for poly lah, though. So the people you meet in poly, right, they're 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 not easy to talk to. Like I think everyone has matured. They have found their own individual personalities. Like it's not like a type of situation where like, oh, if you want to be friends with them, like you kind of merge personalities and whatever. Like they're not gonna be a bit flexible with how they are. I think they are very individual persons. So like it's either you have to find that click or you just don't click at all.
Actually, I don't think that only stands for poly. I think your point is actually quite interesting, but I don't think that only stands for poly because if you think about it, right, that's not specific, right? In JC, that can happen if you happen not to meet the people who you can relate to or want to be friends with, then the same thing is gonna happen. It's gonna be difficult for you to make friends, right? So I think that that point, I think it just applies to all. If you really just if you're really just unlucky and you don't meet people who you relate to, then it's kind of sad.
I don't know, because for me, right, it was a bit difficult. Until now, I still don't really consider them as my friends.
Oh, they won't be watching, is it?
For
They're
not.
not one of the subscribers.
Yeah. Hey.
One of the two
Whatever lah,
subscribers
don't
on this
subscribe.
channel.
Don't subscribe.
One of the
okay.
two
It's
subscribers.
okay. This is just for module and
Click
this.
like
Sub-
and subscribe.
Please subscribe.
yeah, I need to
Subscribe
say
to
that.
3 Ps in a
I
pod.
think we should be saying that at the end. Click like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah.
And ring the notification
We should
bell.
sprinkle it throughout the episode. What are you talking about?
Okay.
You know, whatever awkward silence you have, you just do a shameless plug
Like
in.
and subscribe.
Okay, but say real, right? Maybe it's just a me problem. But I feel like in secondary school and in primary, why is Xavier at the corner?
I got
Okay,
cramping.
in
My
primary
leg
school, in
cramping.
secondary school, it was easier for me to make friends. I don't know though. Maybe it's just me.
No, I think that's true. But like I feel like it's because in poly you kind of barely meet your friends.
I would like to keep it that way.
Maybe a more substantial way of putting it would be that in poly you change classes a lot, right? And that's very difficult for you. It's very difficult for you then to keep in contact with the same people.
No. Mine is right. Same class, everybody same class.
Same class, everybody same class.
But that's because
Your course is damn small,
Yeah,
right?
guys, by the way, there's only 51 people in my cohort.
Yeah, but when you compare it to the rest of poly, it's what I've heard from my friends is that they share one module together and that's it. They don't ever see the people. They don't ever see the people again. I don't know if that's true for everyone, but that's their experience.
That was one of the reasons why I wanted to join a sports CCA, by the way. Cause like I wanted that sense of community, and I really like sports CCAs for that, especially group CCAs. It's so fun. But I did not join because why? The CCA ends at 10:30.
Exactly. That is yeah.
You want to join sports CCA?
No, I mean I kind of wanted to because I wanted to force myself
You
to
can
be
join.
fit.
You can join. They let you in. Is it? They can let you in.
No, I just want to force myself to be fitter, but then I couldn't like take that step. I really couldn't commit because like the moment I hear like you end them late, plus sometimes you have to go back on weekends. No, I'm really good.
No,
Then.
actually, yeah, I think there's another point that we haven't talked about, right?
But
When
CCAs.
you
CCAs.
compare GC and poly, yeah, the CCAs are really different. Like in poly, you're kind of expected to join CCAs to boost up your portfolio, right?
But it's
In
not a need, you
Yeah,
know.
it's not a need, but there is. I mean, from the people I've talked to, right, there is a pressure to
Yeah.
outshine your peers by joining, I don't know, 4 or 5 CCAs.
No
Yeah,
lah, they
Some
just
people
6 or
I've met
7 CCs.
some people I've met, of course, there are those people who stay at one, they keep to 1 or 2 CCAs. But I've met people who really just go for 4 and 5.
which is a
And
bit overkill though, I feel.
I think that if it's interesting to you and it aligns with what you want to do, then sure, go ahead. But I think something that we're not considering is that this then takes up a lot of your effort and time, right?
Yeah.
If a lot of people tout poly as giving you a lot of free time to do whatever you want to do,
That's a lie.
but right,
No.
when you compare to JC, we emphasize a lot of work-life balance, right? In poly, there is that emphasis also, but you need to think about it, right? With such a lack of structure and with
Yeah.
so many CCs, if you do end up taking them, then you're gonna effectively end up in a worse position, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
I wish poly was a bit like JC in the sense that like their CCAs end earlier.
Earlier.
Like, cause just JC, the school gate closes
Yeah.
at a certain time, but then for poly, there isn't such a thing, really.
Yeah.
But I think for me and
Not
Zesri, I
really.
don't think the goddamn gate even matters. We leave school at 6 p.m. every day. Does it even matter anymore?
Ours is an open campus. You can enter anytime.
Yeah.
Just
So
not
it's
the
good,
classroom.
man.
I think we can go visit them actually. We've been
Yeah.
talking about visiting them, we still haven't visit them.
Desiree
lately.
she got lost by the way.
How do you get
In her
lost?
cute
In
little
TP?
TJ uniform.
You actually went to visit them?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, bo jio.
You fake friend.
Oh.
Oh, I see how it
Oh.
is.
Okay,
Aren't you
maybe.
the fake friend for not telling me to
Okay,
go
but
along?
I know TP volleyball, right? Cause polite ITE,
Mhm.
polite, the competition is coming, right? I have this friend in volleyball, cause TP volleyball is like very well known one, right? They train until 11:30, 11:30 p.m. And then she told me she only went to bed at like 1. Then I'm just wondering, wow, like I get that poly and ITE sports competition is like very 要求很多, but is there
High
really a
requirement.
need? Is there really a need to do all this?
Yeah.
Okay, good talk.
Okay, good chat.
Okay, come
Okay.
Xavier.
Click
What's
like and subscribe.
Anything you wanna say? This is just like a non-topic segment. Now I guess just say anything about poly and JC. Okay, for me, it's damn important to go for all the camps. Okay, like all the camps, you'll meet a lot of people, amazing people.
Maybe the love of your
poly?
life.
Poly.
No, no,
This is in a
whoa,
poly
whoa.
context.
That was not subtle foreshadowing. So you'll just meet a lot of amazing people during the camps. Like I personally have met a lot of amazing people during the camps. Sad thing is that they are most likely from other schools, so your schedules will basically just never match up, and you
No,
can never
and
meet up with them.
you will probably drift.
You'll probably drift,
Yeah.
yeah. You'll just basically never meet up with them ever again. But it's really truly important to go for the camp. Cause personally, remember I'm like a SP reject ma. Then I went into TP, right? So
Wow,
I
I cannot imagine that. Imagine you
yeah,
go SP. You'll
yeah,
probably ditch
imagine
us.
alternate universe. But like okay, so cause I wasn't really sure about TP. Cause like all I did was, oh, if not SP, then TP.
He did not do
And then
any
in the end I
research.
just went into TP. So I kinda like went in blind. So then like in TP, right, I was unsure of how I felt there. Wow. Just one camp, I felt truly there. It was actually amazing. It was truly amazing. Shout out Camp Viren.
Shout out to me. I was the one who told him to go to the camp, by the
Oh
way.
yeah, okay, okay. Shout out Jia En because she's the one that told me about the camp. Hey, another thing about Poly, you'll never know what's happening one. Cause we have basically 3 platforms. Microsoft Teams, we have Polite Mall, and you have Outlook. And then if your teacher just wanna anyhow change up the schedule, right? They'll just post on either one of the 3. And then if you never see, then you never see lor. If you got see, then you see lor. That's exactly how I didn't realize that like a week, like one time, I didn't realize that a week later I had math exam. And today, right, as of filming this today, I went to school 2 hours earlier because one of the class cancelled and I didn't read. But at least I got to have breakfast.
True. Zedri, do you have anything to say as a TJL student?
Hey, T-Jail, my god, my
Oh
god.
my god. I think no matter where you go, it really, as we said before, really depends on like what you do with the resources that you have and the time that you have. Like each school will have their pros and their cons, and like everybody is different. So even though we can like give you guys all of this like advice, like it's still gonna, your experience is still gonna differ based on your own personality and your own wants and needs. So like I think it's best if you just like find out for yourself and like let life takes its course, and like just know that like wherever you go, you're probably there for a reason. So like it's chill.
Yeah, everything has its purpose.
Yeah. Jan.
Jan, anything?
Um, I would like to say, please be consistent if you go poly.
Yes.
Please.
Yes, it's really that important.
Please
Regardless
be
of poly or
consistent if
JC.
you
But-
go JC
Yeah, please be,
also.
just don't slack. Really, just don't
be
slack.
consistent.
But also don't forget to have fun, because
Oh,
honestly,
yeah.
I'm not really having the best time of
Why
my
do you
life.
sound why do you
because-
sound so sad? Why do you
Oh,
sound so sad? You sound like someone just died.
No,
Why do you sound
no,
like please
no.
guys?
I'm-
Please have
I'm
fun. Don't be like
trying to
me.
be serious.
Please,
I'm
guys.
trying to tell them the seriousness of
It's
this.
really
You don't
it's
sound serious, you sound
really that
somber.
serious.
Somber. Somber.
No,
Get out.
no.
Get
No
out.
copyright. No
Somber.
Get
copyright. I don't have
out.
money to pay. I don't even get monetized yet.
How can we go back to
Nah.
being friends? Somber.
No.
Somber.
No.
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
I'm not that outdated.
Somber. Okay. Anyways, but
Right.
say on a serious note, right? Legit. I feel like I'm not enjoying my time in poly as much as I did in secondary school. But that's for me. Maybe I peaked in high school type shit.
Oh
Peak
dear.
in secondary
Yeah,
school.
No,
please
I'm
cherish
really
the
not-
friends you
I
have
was
now, lah.
I was a
Please
very
cherish the time
loser
you have
person
now.
in secondary school, guys.
Oh.
Yeah, cause I hang.
Really?
Yeah, cause I hang
I
out
thought
with
you
Jian
so
Wei and
cool.
you,
Ah.
bro.
Oh, lah, I see how it is. I see how it is.
What
How's
the-
your school
You know,
life now then? How's your school
Maybe
life now?
it's really
Aura
bad.
dropped
Right,
to like
that's
hang
what
out
I
with
thought.
you.
Oh my god, I told Elsworth that I was going to jog with you, right? Then she was like, Elsworth. Then I'm like, oh yeah, the guy from Scouts. He's like, oh.
Scouts.
Then I just feel like,
Elsworth's
yes,
from
Tin Wei is a
Scouts.
very here not there, here there person. Like they will hear you before, but it's like they don't really know.
I'll take that as a compliment, you know. My reputation is bad enough as it is, you know.
Jian Wei the yapper.
Oh.
Yeah, I was
for
invited here for
you.
that. Okay, I was invited here for that.
Yeah, I told Xavier, I was like, Jian Wei's
Yeah.
gonna have the time of his life here.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, we should do this more often.
Yeah, can. You
I
just
think-
live right there
Yeah,
only.
I live 1 minute away. It's
They
so
are
easy.
they are neighbors, by the way.
New
for
Yeah.
frequent
context.
guest.
New frequent
Yeah.
guest, yeah.
Dream guest on my podcast.
Dream guest of my podcast.
Dream guest on my podcast.
Thank you guys for watching this episode of Three Peas in a Pod. If you haven't watched my first one, please watch my first one. I put a lot of effort into it, even though there was a technical error. Sorry, Nicole.
Remember to
Like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next episode of Three Peas in a Pod. Bye.
Bye.